and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
We're laughing because Beth was making faces before we started.
It's not a face, it's just my face.
I cannot believe that September is almost over.
I know.
I'm freaking out. And it went so fast, and yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what happened to this month.
I don't either. And I'm a big dummy, which I will tell you about when it's my turn, because I've got so much now. Anyway, Eve's going first today.
Yes. Let me turn this off so I don't waste battery. I have been working on my second WIP-GO project for September.
Like I said, I just said the month.
I wasn't listening to you.
Nice.
Which is Christmas Lantern by Twin Peak Primitives, which I absolutely love.
It's pretty.
But I have a knack for picking fabrics that my threads don't show up on. I am using DMC's 14 count, I don't know what it's
Hold it up
technically
higher.
called.
I think it looks beautiful.
It's a sparkly gold.
Is it Ada?
Yeah.
Oh, I
said
think it's
14
so
count,
pretty.
yeah. But the white doesn't show up on it very well, and most of the white is surrounded by other stuff, but when it's not, I'm backstitching around it, other than those reflection lines.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be perfect.
I
don't think you need to worry about
I
it.
think it'll be fine, but I concentrated on this pretty much. I don't know if you remember, but none of this red was there. This white down here wasn't here. Most of this in here wasn't there. And I love the way it's looking. Now, right now, I'm working with a thread that is virtually the same color. The white is difficult to see. This is impossible to see.
Oh no.
And it is so close in color to the white that I'm like, did I stitch white where I shouldn't?
Oh no.
Or is that? And then I get here in this light and it actually shows up. So,
Sometimes like a stitching light, or like I have that neck light, if it's too bright, it also affects how you see the threads.
yeah, and the time of day, because I stitch near a window, and yeah, I use lights in the house too, but certain times of day make it more difficult for me to see what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I was watching some Flosstube, somebody's Flosstube earlier, and they were talking about how I don't know, it was the sheen of the fabric or something, like when they, their light made made it more difficult to see.
And there is no way with...
Sorry, it's really loud. Sorry.
Yeah, you should hear when the dog barks.
It's very echoey.
There's no way with the amount of September that's left that I will finish this. But I think it is possible that I will finish it next year sometime.
The lantern?
Mm-hmm. Because even if I finish the flower part, it's got this big
The base.
the base here, and I know from stitching this up here that it looks easy, but it's not. And then it's not because it's a lot of stitching. And then the border here also.
It's like that endless no
I
man's
don't want to
land.
do it anymore.
Is it hard to see the X's on the sparkle?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the first half of the X, you just have to, I did that way.
Mm.
And then I go back the other way and I'm like, wait a minute, that was supposed to cross here and it crossed up there. Oops.
Oh no.
So, I thought I would be finished with 2023 temperature SAL. I said, how long could it take? I only have the border to do.
Famous last words.
I worked on this border for hours, and it's like,
It's further along.
oh, it's a lot further along.
Did
but
you
I
fix
used
that
like,
one?
Yeah, I fixed it.
Did you fix the boo-boo?
Yeah.
When I posted the picture last week, I was like, I see a boo-boo.
She goes, "Is this a mistake?" And I'm like,
I felt,
Hence the frog.
I felt bad because I was like, it's my proofreading nature.
but
You're
I
almost
use
done.
like 4. I mean, I use long threads, right?
Yeah.
Because I use the loop method and all. I use like 4 or 5 lengths of thread, and that's all the further I got. Because it's basically like
You're
stitching.
halfway.
It's stitching the whole thing 4 times, you know? So I thought, oh, I'll be done. Yeah, right. But, you know,
You will be
I'll
soon.
be done before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Even though it was last year's.
even though it was last year's, yeah. Well, and I haven't put the rest of it. I'll get to that here in a second. So this year I'm doing Stitching Mommy's Temperature Turtles, and putting the lines on this turtle. It's like, I know I'm not putting that in the right spot. And then I finally decided, I don't care. Because it's all the same color, so does it really make any difference? And then this one, at least, I'll be able to tell that one little day that it was cooler. So, Phoenix, as we said last week, got cooler, and we were all enjoying the fallish weather.
How silly we were.
And the weather went psych. My phone told me it was 115 today.
It felt like it.
The site that I use for the temperatures said 111.
I walked out at noon today and it was
Brutal yesterday, and it was hotter today. I didn't spend a lot of time outside today, but I just was like, maybe it's hot enough to swim. But I didn't want to get wet because I had something to do, and that's another story. But I wanted to swim yesterday when I came back from teaching because it was so freaking hot. And I put my toe in the water and said, not happy. Because I just didn't want to be cold. But this turtle is interesting.
I was gonna say, that one's at least, you know,
it's different
colors.
It's all different colors, which is the point, right? But I really enjoy doing this, and if I don't design my own and do my own, I will definitely choose another, because I've lived here since Robert was 3rd grade, and your mind tells you the whole summer is hot, it's all the same, you know, and these last 2 years that I've done it, no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have record temperatures in that, you know, up to, 125 or something that we've had sometimes. But we had a record number of days this summer where it was it over 100 or over 105?
Over 100 at least, I think.
It was, well, I mean, you just look at my turtles, you know.
Yeah.
It was, it was basically all of May,
Yeah.
all of June, no, let's see, whatever these are. These 3, it was that hot, all those
June,
3
July,
months.
August you have there. The red ones.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So, yeah, it's been wicked hot.
It's
summer.
sad to see it like that.
Last summer, it was hot temperature-wise for a long time. This summer, it was just nasty hot longer.
Yeah.
And, we always tell people, and it's 1 month and a year, and the rest of the time it's beautiful. Not this year.
Well, you know, when my kids were little, I thought, well, you know, Hannah was born at the end of April.
Yeah.
April's nice. No, don't do an outside party for an April baby in Phoenix. It's, you know, we had her third party. No, her, I can't remember what age it was, 5-year-old? I can't remember. We had it outside in this little yard we had outside our townhome, and we had a little tent, and she was just,
And that was April.
yeah, end of April.
Because it's warm enough. You know, they do.
It's too hot.
They
though.
do spring. What is that? Baseball, spring, whatever.
Spring training?
In February.
Here in February. The reason they
March.
do that in February.
Actually, it's March.
March.
Yeah, it's March, but it's already hot in March.
But it's warm enough to
Play baseball.
enjoy baseball, but it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And people come here in droves because it's already summer temperatures for wherever they live. You know, and
I mean, compared to where they live, you mean? Like they come
Yeah.
from Chicago where it's freezing cold in March.
right. So for them, it's a respite from whatever, but that it's already starting to get hot. And yet, I love it here, in spite of all of that. Just don't accidentally trip and fall and land on the concrete when it's hot like that.
Yeah.
There've been stories. Okay, so they had the WIP-GO numbers come out for October. And one of mine is cross-stitching for fun's snowflake ornaments.
I remember those.
And
Oh, yeah.
just like the Art Deco thing,
They're so pretty.
they look really simple. They are. I mean, they're mostly one color. They're not one color, it's a 3-color pattern. But I thought, that'll be easy. I haven't even finished one.
I remember you struggled a lot.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm
that's
showing you
the
the back. How about this side? Is that better?
That's better.
So I love these patterns. They're very, very simple, but they're adorable. The penguin,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is just beyond cute. At first I told myself that I was going to go ahead and do them, finish them separately, but I don't know. I might want to just go ahead and finish them like this, because in my mind, these are too big for an ornament like on a tree, but they're not too big as a unit of 4 of them to put on a pillow, on a wall, what have you. So I have to really think about it. It's not like it's a decision I have to make soon, because I'm not even done with one yet. So that was one of the calls. And the second one is Joyful Snowman. It's a kit, a dimensions kit. The designer is something French. Barb Tortolodi? I don't know. Theoretically, I can read and speak French, but I really can't.
I can't even see it from here.
So, I love snowmen. And this came with white Ada.
Which one is that? Oh.
I bought it for Christmas and July stitching kind of thing. I want to say 3 years ago. And I worked on it periodically, and I stuck it in a project bag that has small with a little handle, and I could take it, you know, for appointments or whatever if I was waiting for Beth so I could stitch. But I stopped taking it. I dyed the fabric brown. Now, before you judge me, the trees that are in the background are not completely stitched.
So you wanted to make sure that you wouldn't be able to see thread on the fabric. Because that's what you like to do. You like to stitch with thread you can't see against your fabric. So you like, the fabric's white, and I'll be able to see those trees, so I better dye the fabric so I can't see the trees.
Well, actually, my thinking was it'll make the snowman be easier to see.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Not really. So, these trees are done with the concept that your brain fills in things that are not there. In art, if you draw a person's face and only one half of the glasses, your brain tells you they wear glasses and you see both sides, even though it is not actually in the picture.
That's why you have to have somebody else do proofreading for you, because your brain will fill in
Skip
letters
over.
that aren't there. You know.
Right. So I thought, see, because these trees are like basically not the whole tree stitched, okay? And I thought that would make the forest look a little bit more dense if the fabric was closer to that color, because the snowman is white and he's surrounded by blue. And everywhere where the snowman is, it's surrounded by blue. So the snowman will show up if I ever actually stitch it. And he's holding this little sign that says joyful. And those are basically the same color as the fabric now, but they're backstitched around. So technically, I guess I could just do the back stitching and not stitch those at all. Anyway, it's not very big. I mean, you know, it's not very big. You'd think I'd be further along than this. I finished the little bunnies.
Let me see the kit.
But anyway, that's
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Is that you?
that's me.
So, since there's a few more days left in September, I went back to two of my two main calls for September. So in this one, I put the sheep's face in and done all that stuff. But so I went back and right now I'm working on this grass and this flower stem and all this green stuff here.
Fabrics. And what pattern is that?
This is Wandering Sheep, I think. It's one of I keep getting my two sheep patterns mixed up. So I'm working on the grass down here, and this one, the stem leading up to these little pink flowers. So I've already done, you know, like more. My goal was 7 days on this, and I've done 9 plus, you know, what I'm doing today. Just, you know, because I wanted something to stitch on. And also my other sheep pattern for this month was, let me get crap-a-lanch here, Lost and Found. And this one also I worked on just briefly today. I put the sheep's face in. And
Sorry, I have to get my bag. I'm moving this chair, sorry.
Finished his face except for his ears. The outside of his ears. I did the inside of his ears, and I did his face and the eye. So there's that. Also, I had also hit the goal plus on that one. So, but I have three finishes this month. So one of my secondary charts was this angel. In this Prairie Schooler Starry Night pattern. So this is one of the charts, the patterns. And let me see, I folded my fabric all up here. And there it is. And it's all finished.
Let me see.
Oh, wow. So I have, I think I've done 5 of the 7. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 2 left in this set of patterns. There's one with the 3 wise men, and there's one with a wise man riding on a camel here. So there's this one, and the 3 wise men are left. And I think there are, at least one of them is on my WIP-GO board still. And I'm going to get to that also for October. I have an issue. Well, not with October, but with the following one. Anyway.
I thought October was the best.
It is. I think I didn't get the pattern out, but so one of my other secondary WIP-GO charts was Rabbit September, and I finished that. I don't have the chart here, but I'll have to show a picture of it. I didn't take it out of my rabbit bag. And then I had some days left, so I did June, which is also, it's just on the same fabric, so I went ahead and finished it. And it's kind of hard because these chocolate bunnies are bigger than they look. They, there's a lot more stitching than they seem like. And I think I had like 2.5 of them to go.
And those are the ones you finish on like a circle, right?
Yeah.
And like an easel type of thing.
Yeah.
That's neat.
So this one was pretty easy, and it was mostly done. Like the rabbits were done, and it was mostly just the flowery stuff. And this one is a lot more dense, a lot more stitching for the rabbits, the bigger rabbits. And once they were all done, it was easy to finish because it was just a few more stitches. Except that you can't really see in the bunny there's like a flower inside it, a flower and the green stem, and the flower part is kind of hard to see because it's like a dark red, a wine color. Next to the brown, and so it's really hard to see. But anyway, it's done. So June and September this is June.
I shouldn't have put this frog on the table.
Why is it making you have
It's making you frog things. ribbit,
naughty frog. So my October numbers have been called, and I'm doing this Tiny Modernist, Karma Chameleon.
Oh, I remember that. It's cute.
Yeah, and it's my goal for this one is to finish it because I don't think I have too much left, except I am going to have to. I have to go and buy some threads because I was looking for them and I don't have them. Can't put my hands on them, and I'm tired of looking for them. So anyway, so a lot of the chameleon is done, and then like just like a bunch of the little flowers and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that I can finish this, before too long. Hopefully it won't take too long to finish it. But that's one of my October calls, and then the secondary call for that is another rabbit, and I'm doing October. This is one where the 2 bunnies are these 2 brown colors, right? A sort of a medium brown and a dark brown, and I wanted to do it on this fabric, but the medium brown bunny didn't show up, so I'm doing white instead, and then the darker brown bunny. I think I'm doing the white one, yeah, the light, instead of the light brown color, to make it show up on this fabric. I think this is, I want to say rust is the color that, these are all done on 32 count Murano crochet, that Hobby Lobby used to carry, doesn't carry anymore. So, but so they had a whole bunch of different colors, and this one is I think was called Rust. But anyway, so I'm hoping to finish this October Rabbit as one of my secondary calls. And this, I think this is 20.
It's 25.
25 count Lugana, also from Hobby Lobby. And yeah, and this one was Murano crochet Ice. And the other two, the two sheep were done on 28 count Lugana that I dyed. So then my other main WIP-GO call is The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. And so this is one, I worked on it, I guess I started last year with this set of animals, the Year in the Woods. So the fox is the number 1, January, basically. So I'm quite a ways into it. I don't think I'll be able to finish it. The goal is 7 days for this one, so we'll see how far. There's only, all the trees are done, the cabin's done,
He's
most
got a
of
lot
the,
of stitching though.
huh?
His body has
Yeah,
a lot.
it's a lot. So and then like most of the snowflakes are done. I think there's like 1 or 2 little, like there's 2 little ones down under his feet and one, you know, they're like clusters of 4 stitches. So there's 1 up here.
But then his body is like full.
But
coverage.
yeah, the body is like a lot of stitching.
Yeah.
And I haven't done his feet yet, the black feet
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So yeah. So that's the fox, and it's on. This is I want to say it's either 22 or 28 or 32 count linen that I dyed, and so I'm doing them in groups of 3 like this. So I have the first 3, the fox, the swans, and the jackrabbit on this one, and so I'm coming back to do the fox this in October. And then as my secondary chart for that is the barn owl, and this is the number 8 of this set of this Year in the Woods. So this one is going to be a new start. I haven't started this one yet. The 3 6, 7, and 8, yeah, the 3 summer ones basically. I didn't get to this summer. I did the woodpecker. I was one of the calls, secondary call, I think. So I just got his head. But I had to do this little border that I devised for the 3 of them. I had to do the border because he was the 3rd of this set. So I've got the border done, at least started, so I kind of know where to put it. The barn owl is going to go here. So yeah, this big blank spot. And I'm hoping I can get to the owl itself on this pattern. It's going to be hard because there's like, you know, I'm going to have to stitch those trees in there before I get to the owl. And then, since October is my birthday month, on my birthday I'm going to work on I'm still doing this Black Cat Season set of patterns. There's 6, I think, of 6 patterns, and this is number 4. So I haven't started the other 6 yet, but I have finished the other ones. They're all rolled up under here. So this is the number 4. I just have, there's an actual cat in here, and like window curtains and stuff. And then down here it says House Panther. So, yeah, so I want to work on this on my birthday, on the 10th. So, and then actually, I realized I have a boo-boo with my WIP-GO charts, because when we were packing up our stuff for the house, you know, to sell the house, when we were packing up, I was packing, you know, I have a whole bunch of cross-stitch stash, so I was putting as much as I could away, and so I was looking at my WIP-GO chart for this year, and there were, you know, of course, several charts that I already worked on, right? And so I thought, okay, well, I've already done these, and I'm not going to get back to them this year, so you know, they were already called for WIP-GO, and I've already worked on them and hit the goal or whatever. So I sent all those to storage, and but one of them is a tiny modernist. It was a stitch-along from like 2019, I think. The Sleepy Hollow stitch-along, and I one of them. So it's a 4-part. Series, like 4 separate things you could do, you know, and one of them, the number 1 is finished, and number 2 is almost finished, and number 3 and number 4, right? So number 3 was one of the WIP-GO calls, and I started it. It was I think it was a secondary call or something, because I just had a little bit of it done. So I had started that one, but when I was packing up all my cross-stitch stuff, apparently, I guess, I looked at that and said, oh, I already did that. And I packed it up and sent it off to storage, because the other day when I was getting all these patterns ready for October, I was going through, because the Karma Chameleon, I had taken all the threads out at some point. So I was going through and looking for the threads and blah, blah, blah. And I realized, as I was looking through the project bags that I had there, that I don't have the Sleepy Hollow charts. And I was looking at like my WIP-GO charts to see what was left, because Jessa Marie was just talking about, you know, that October, you know, calls, and then once we get to the end of October and they call November numbers, we'll automatically know the December numbers, because they'll be just the 2 that are left, right? So I was thinking about all that as I was looking through my bags and looking at my WIP-GO chart, and I was like, wait a minute, where's the Sleepy Hollow project? And it's not there. So, and it was like on my WIP-GO chart. I think there's over two different, you know, squares in my WIP-GO chart. So I'm gonna have to do something different, you know, put more time on, maybe I'll work on that Black Cat season, I don't know. But, yeah, so.
Can't you just pick something on the other 4 that are left?
Yeah, just pick one of the other ones, and then you move them around. The ones that you do have.
It could be that by November or December, we're
Yeah,
wherever.
that's what I'm saying, that
So you have 4 other
theoretically
charts to pick from.
Yeah, you could do one of November, like a future one that hasn't been, I mean, you could just switch it with a number that hasn't been called yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, theoretically, we could sell the house, and I could get everything unpacked and do Sleepy Hollow once it's called or whatever. But, you know, yeah. But
It's all right.
That's a big if and a big if, you know.
Or you can just
Oh,
pick a
yeah,
different
I could just punt. Huh?
You could just do something else.
Yeah, I was just saying that, you know, my
You did not plan well.
yeah, well, and I was looking at it because I was trying to think, you know, what am I going to do next year for WIP-GO? Because I know some people have already I guess especially people who are not doing WIP-GO, who are new to WIP-GO, and they're going to start in January, and so they're already, you know, putting their WIP-GO boards together, and they're, you know,
Yeah.
and so I had been thinking about that, and that's when I realized, oh, I packed up Sleepy Hollow, and I'm kind of miffed about it too because you know, like number 3 has just started. I just, you know, started on it. Number 2, I could probably finish, you know, because it's very close to be finished. And number 4, I need to start because I have not started it yet.
Yeah.
And because I'm planning on doing drums on those, I still have to do the little round toppers for each drum, and I have not done any of them. I haven't started those at all. So yeah, so I was really wanting to get that number 2 finished and number 4 started, just because I have a long way to go, and you know, it's a lot, you know. It's not a lot of stitching on each one, I think, but it's, you know, it's a significant amount, and I haven't done it yet. So anyway, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah, and the
All
dog. right.
Here is Hannah's sweater, the GOT, as they're calling it, GEOT, TEE. That's the front, and that's the back. You see that gradient is really coming in. It's just going to get darker and darker from here. This is supposed to be, it's supposed to knit straight for 12 inches, so this is supposed to be 12 inches. And one of the things I was looking for in my bag was my measuring tape. I think that's probably about 6 or so inches, maybe 7. Excuse me, so I still have a way to go. But I'm plugging away. I am not going to get this done by the end of September, which was my plan. So I have to deal with that. I could put this aside actually, because it's for me. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's not for me, but it's for Hannah. So
It's a bonus project.
it's not critical like the other things I'm about to show you. So you remember last week I was like, I'm gonna go dress shopping today. Remember last Saturday? And I went to 2 different stores and I tried on many dresses. No, 3 stores. I tried on many dresses and faced all my demons, and I was unhappy with everything I tried
don't
on.
understand people who can buy off the rack clothing.
Well, you know, you would think that finding so that's the other thing. I found one short dress that was really nice, but I messaged one of my friends at the symphony and I was like, for the gala, you know, should it be long? And she's like, yeah. And you would think that finding a long dress for a short person would be easy, but it is not. At least not one shaped like me. So I looked everywhere, and there was one kind of nice green dress, because the theme of the gala is we took it from Wicked, because it's the music of Stephen Schwartz is the concert, and he wrote the music to Wicked, and so they've run with that theme. So that's you know, there's going to be a green carpet instead of a red carpet, right? So the theme is green. And I was like, I could buy a green dress, and then I will never wear it again. So do I really want to do that? What do I want to do? And I just, you know, I wasn't so desperate that I would like buy something that just sort of kind of worked. I'm like, if I'm going to spend this money, I want to have something that I love. Like, you put it on, you're like, yes, right? So, I mean, it might not happen anyway, but I didn't want to spend money if I didn't feel good about it. So then I think it was the second store, my son was with me. He's a really great helper when we're shopping, but I said to him, I'm going to tell you something absolutely insane. What if I made my dress? And of course he's very sweet. He's like, of course you can do it, Mom. So then we went to Joann's. And I found this. Have I shown you this? This is a pattern I'm going to make. Simplicity pattern. This dress right here. This is kind of ankle. It's probably about where I'll do it, or maybe all the way to the floor. I'm not sure. But I have to work, so
It's
I
like
don't really
something
want
out
it.
of, what do you call it?
Floor length.
Jane Austen.
Yeah, it's kind of a high, like a, what do you call this? seam?
Empire waist.
Yeah, because I do well with that. And so, and I didn't bring it with me because it will glitter everywhere, but I'm putting a sparkle velvet in black. Because I will wear a black dress again. I can wear it New Year's, you know, or if I have to work the concert, or, you know, whatever, events or concerts of my own or whatever. So I'm going to make this. It has these little, I'm not sure what this is. It looks like I don't know why there's a 2-color sleeve here. I don't understand it. Because in this, I don't know if she's wearing something underneath. See that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that, I really wanted long sleeves or elbow length because of my monitor. I didn't want to have to have it out. But, you know, I use these stickers and I just ordered some. There's some that are all glitter, like glitter look or sparkle look. And there's one that's black. So, and I think it comes with a bunch of different colors. So anyway, I just ordered that. So when I change this right before the gala, I'll change it into that sparkle. Anyway, I have to think about all these things. What's the matter?
My scissors are all the way over here.
Thought she was leaving us again. So anyway, here's a picture of my fabric. It's black velvet with a sparkle, which kind of is glittering everywhere all over my house, but I have not started it yet. The gala is 2 weeks from Saturday, so the 12th. On the 10th and 11th, I'm going to a writer's conference all day, so those days are out. So anyway,
You mean you're not celebrating my birthday all day?
no, I'm going to a writer's conference on your birthday. But anyway,
Neither am I.
so
Well, neither am I baking you a cake.
right. So anyway, that's very sweet. Anyway, so
I don't have a kitchen to bake in.
I'm going to start on this dress hopefully this weekend, hopefully actually tomorrow. I've kind of cleared my day, although I do have a symphony picnic to go to tomorrow afternoon for a while. And so I'm going to start this tomorrow. I hope to get the majority. I was like, I know from making Hannah 1,000 dresses that it takes me, I really think of it as like 24-hour periods, like one whole day to cut out the pattern and cut out the fabric, one whole day to sew, and one whole day to do all the finishing, right? So I'm like,
The way you were saying that, all I could hear is one ring to...
one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them.
Yeah.
Yes, and in the darkness find them. Yes, so, but yeah, so so if I think about it in 24-hour periods, I'm like, I think I can spread it out over several days. The worst part, and the reason I haven't even, I bought this last Saturday and I have not worked on it, is a couple of reasons. One, I got really bad spasm in my neck and really haven't done much of anything, even knitting this week. So anyway, so my weeknights have been tough, but this weekend, this is my main project. However, I have another project. So I told you about the coasters, right? And this is the fabric that I found. Look, because our opening weekend is the planets.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the first one. I don't know if you can see the quiltings. I did this. I quilted this, and then this is going to be the background. And if you've seen any of our printed materials, it matches, right? So this will be the back of the coaster, and this will be the front. I think it'll look cute with that little edge. And, so one side's purple like our brochure and the other side has planets. Because that's our
cute.
opening weekend and everything. And they had another fabric that had the actual planets, like, Jupiter. But the images are just huge on the fabric, so it wouldn't have worked for something like this. That's just So what I do with this is this is a 10-inch square and a little bit bigger batting. I use cotton, so it's real absorbent. And I quilt it. The tutorial I saw on this has you use painter's tape, because you can stick it down and pull it up. And then you just sew on either side of that painter's tape to have straight lines. And my husband only buys the wide stuff because you want the narrow painter's tape, and I was out in the garage looking for it the other night. So this is kind of eyeballed, kind of with a ruler riding beside my foot, and it's fine because you can't even see it. And then once I do this, I'll cut this. I'll trim I'll cut it back down to 10 inches. So I'll trim all this edge off, and then I'll cut it perpendicular, so it's 5-inch squares. And then I cut this fabric into 5-inch squares, and then I sew them right sides together like this, leaving an opening, turn it inside out, and then top stitch the whole thing. And
if you want a quilting project to begin to learn with, that's a great one.
This is a great one. Because it doesn't even matter if these quilting lines are straight. Like you'll see some of them are really curved. Because once you have this, 5-inch square piece of it, you're going to just see that there's crisscross stitching. You're not going to be, no one on earth is going to be like, oh, this one's, see, like this square's really wide and this one's normal. So
if they do, they are not your friend.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just going to put your drink on it and you're right there. So. But I think these will be fun. My goal is to pass them out on Tuesday at staff meeting, which is the last staff meeting before our opening weekend. And I want to pass them out at staff meeting so I can get all the attention. Just kidding. And that I have, so when I cut this fabric, I have this beautiful ruler. Maybe I'll take a picture of it. I can't think what it's called now, Stripology ruler. And it's the big one. It's like 20, I want to say it's like 25 inches wide. And
we used it heavily when we were making pillowcases.
Like 20 inches this way. It's like a rectangle. But what it is it's basically, it's a cutting ruler, but it's a frame like this, and then it's got strips of an inch, an inch, where you can stick your rotary cutter. It has like a little teardrop edge where you stick it in, and then you can go, so you can do 1 inch, 2.5, like whatever. Maybe it is 1/2 inches. No, it can't be. Anyway, so like when I cut these, I folded up my fabric and went 10, 10, 20, and then, just kept doing it that way. And with these, I just did it every 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. And then you turn the strip the other way and cut the square. So it's super easy. You don't have to like move the ruler and measure, because it just holds your fabric there and you just cut the strips. So I love it a lot. And so when I calculated how much fabric I was going to need, I need to make 40 of these. We have about 36 people, and I thought it'd be good to have a few extra. And now that I think about it, we just hired 2 new people. So, but I had started out like this one. I may still have to use it, but this one is super. The quilting, you can see, I only did one direction, but the quilting lines are super skinny. And I was like, this is too narrow. Good thing, because I was able to cut out 12 squares instead of just 10. So it's like, okay, I have extra. And this one too. I didn't do well on this one, but I think I might have to use them just because we have extra people. So
So do you think they're gonna go and compare them to see if their quilting is the same?
they might. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I'll start with 40. I might be able to make it with 40. I'll have to count the people now because, like I said, last time I counted, I thought it was 36. So I thought 40 would be great. But I have 2 of these correctly and fully quilted, and that means I have 8 more to do, and then I can finish these 2 if I need them. See how narrow those are? So I was like, that's not fun to have it so narrowly quilted, but no one will care. So that's my project that I need to do probably tonight, and then I can start on my dress. I have to cut it out. And the other thing, I had a little bit of haul. Mark,
Oh, yeah.
he goes, could I ask you to get me some yogurt at the store tonight for breakfast because we were out? And I was like, okay, but it'll cost you. So I went to the store and I'm like, I'm gonna get something for myself. So I was at Fry's and I was in the magazine section and I got this Christmas craft magazine and I meant to bring it. So I'll put a picture of it here. It's got some cute ideas. I always like those just to look at them. But one of the things it has is a whole section on little ornament cross stitches, tiny little patterns like that. And it's a QR code, and you click it, and you download them.
Oh, neat.
So I was gonna bring them to show them to you guys. So I thought that was really cute, and it's got a lot of ideas, like wreath ideas and different stuff. It was a cute little magazine. There was a bunch there, and I was trying to figure out which one I wanted the most.
That reminds me, I have a little bit of haul too that I forgot.
You can show it next week.
Yeah,
I'll bring my magazine next
we were at Hobby Lobby. She had to get a couple threads, and of course, you shouldn't go there where you don't have to do something. But they had some little Christmas like storage boxes that look like little trunks.
Oh,
They have a latch, and they're kind of rounded on the
She
top.
needs more stuff in her room before we move. They're really cute.
Yeah, it's and they were like, the Christmas stuff was 50% off or something.
That's
So it
fun.
wasn't very expensive at all. It was like $8 or something.
Yeah.
And then they had like those little bundles of fabric, backing fabric, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they had some that was like summer themed, and they were all on sale.
Yeah.
So I this one little
That's
bundle
good.
I bought. Yeah. So it was fun.
Okay, before we start stories, question of the week. So I was thinking about this because I had a discussion with my husband this week. He was like, yeah, how long are your videos? And I was like, well, it's like an hour and a half sometimes. It's been longer. And he's like, who watches that? And I'm like, a lot of people watch long form videos. He's like, but why? Why would you? I'm like, he's like, what are you talking about? So we thank you for sticking with us through our long form videos. But so I wanted to ask, question of the week is, why do you like long form videos, and what do you do while you watch them? Because I told him it's not about just sitting and watching the video. It's about doing your thing while you're watching and having something to listen to and kind of look at and watch while you're doing your thing, while you're, because I'm like, you see me. I tell him I'm always watching something or listening to something while I'm knitting. I'm not just sitting there.
It's not like
So
some movies you have to pay attention to.
yeah, there are certain movies you can watch while you're.
But when
stitching.
you're watching a Flosstube or something like that, you're
You just-
listening to stuff
and then you glance up.
you're
occasionally.
interested in.
Right, you're interested in it. You're learning about new projects that are out there,
And then they show you something and you have to go buy.
and then you see, but then when something's critical, like you just glance up and say, oh, look at that, But you're just listening and doing your thing. So I've tried to explain that to him. So I would like to prove it to him that people actually do like long form videos about stitching and fiber arts, and so I'm just curious why you all like them and what you do while you watch us.
And then we have the answers.
Oh
from
yeah,
the
so
house.
last week our viewers said that they cross stitch, quilt, crochet, sewing, embroidery, decorative painting.
I think that's all I have written.
Oh, that's all you have?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was longer. No. Decorative
yeah.
painting, journaling, needle felting, and knitting.
Yeah.
So we have kind of the whole...
No, somebody wanted to learn needle.
Oh yeah. Someone's working on learning.
I know people do, I haven't written it down here, but I know that some people do, what are it called? Felt, I can't think of the name now, but it's like felt piecing, you know, felt, what's it
Embroidery?
called? It's just like, you have pieces of felt that you sew together to
Yeah.
make a picture.
Yeah, like that stocking I made a long time ago.
Yeah, so it's not needle felting.
Right. It's
And it's not,
it's embroidery.
no, it's called something else.
Okay.
Speaking of watching videos that are not necessarily stuff you do, but stuff you're interested in, right? There is somebody who crochets stuffed animals and, you know, stuff like that.
Amigurumi.
No, but I mean, she has, and she's done her own patterns. I mean, she makes her own patterns.
Yeah.
And she sells them at craft shows. And because I used to do craft shows with making jewelry, there was something on one of her craft shows about something that happened. And I thought, I'll watch this. And I enjoyed it. So I watched another one.
Mm-hmm.
And her videos are very long because they go over days.
Yeah.
Okay. They edit it, you know.
Right.
But she's mostly talking about her craft, but also about things that happened at her various craft shows.
Yeah.
And while I know how to crochet, I'm not going to make any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, I found it interesting. What the heck is going on here?
Oh, and she didn't reply, but I know Rachel does jewelry, and also she's learned to cross stitch. So, and I'm like impressed with Rachel. Like she's like monogamous and finishes her projects. I'm like, how do you do that? Because I am like all over the place. Okay, so stories. Today, I wished that someone had. Well, no, I don't. I'm glad that no one had a camera on me because I went to get my lunch and I was wearing these sandals they're just slide-in sandals. They're very nice and they stay on my feet all the time. And I was crossing a very busy street
Oh my.
and the light was green for me, but it was hot, and the cross stitch numbers started to go down. You know, they started to count down. So I was like, oh crap, gotta hurry. So I started I wasn't running, but I started kind of walking fast. But right there, where I start to cross Washington, is the light rail. And every time and they're embedded, you know, but there's like the little grooves and, you know, and every time I walk over that, I'm always like, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip. Because it just feels like it'd be so easy to catch your foot. I don't know what happened, but my right foot came out of my sandal. And I started to do a little dance in the street. And I'm like, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fall. And you know how you do that, like tumble forward? And as I'm tumbling forward, I hear a man next to me, are you okay? And he was trying to catch me. And I finally, because I was like, and you know how your brains work so fast you don't even realize it. But in those moments, which was just a split second, right? I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna fall on this pavement. The light is about to turn green. There is a line of cars. I am going to wipe out and I'm going to ruin my day. And the reason I was like I was going to go get my lunch and take it back to my desk because I had a giant project I had to finish today. And I literally thought about that. Like, how am I going to finish my work if I fall and wipe out, break something, scrape myself up? I'm like, no. And you know, and I did that whole like, oh! And and, he's like, and so finally I like somehow I caught my shoe back and shoved my foot back into my shoe, and I could feel my left ankle was, so my right foot came out, but my left ankle took the whole brunt of keeping me upright. Yeah. And he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I twisted my ankle, but I think I'm okay." And we hurried across the street before the light changed. And then I went to the restaurant, to Ingo's, and I was ordering my lunch. He's like, "How's your day going today?" And I'm like, "I almost wiped out." I'm really glad I didn't, but I almost did. And man, my ankle, it's pretty good now, but every once in a while I get a twinge, but it's not hurt badly.
Do you remember when Tim fell in Little Rock? They were visiting Beth, Mom and Dad, and Tim. They were crossing a street.
He was walking there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was an old section, like it's one of those like historical, what do you call it? Where, you know, people dress up historical costumes, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's you know, this little square where they do that.
I was there, wasn't I?
Yeah, I think you were there.
I have
Yeah.
no memory of this.
But
my brain is fried.
but the sidewalk around it is the old original bricks instead of pavement, right? And so, but you know, there's trees and stuff there, so all the bricks are like, you know, cattywampus, whatever. And so he caught his foot on one of those edges and like fell and tore up his knee.
But
and stuff
the reason
like that.
I thought about it is because, okay, my brother is very, very funny. He's hilarious. And so he told the tale. And he's like, you know, when you're a kid and you're running along and you start to fall, you just face plant and you get up and you just keep going.
I know.
He said, but no, as an adult, you try not to fall and you're like doing all this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then you fall anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why I was like, I felt my whole body doing this ridiculous dance.
Well, so I always tell
So
people
embarrassing.
that, you know, adults should not fall, because when you're a kid, for one thing,
it's further.
Yeah,
It's
when
further
you're-
to the ground.
yeah, when you're very little, you have a diaper on, so if you fall on your butt, you're padded. When you're a little bit older, when you're a, you know, little kid, you're still close to the ground,
Yeah.
so you're not falling that far. But when you're an adult, you know, you've got all the way down,
Okay, so here's
and a heavier body.
Here's
and,
the other thing I was
you know,
thinking. As
and
I
older bones.
Another thing that came through my mind was, I am doing this ridiculous dance to stay upright. And right at this moment, and I don't know if it's literally true, right at this moment, my queen of a boss lady is running down the Grand Canyon and hiking out in one day this weekend. And I'm like, so diametrically opposite, I can't even, like, I was like, don't fall. She's like, I got my poles, it's okay. I'm like, so that's what I was thinking, I'm like, oh, Rachel's running down the Grand Canyon and I cannot cross the street.
So in one of the classes that I was teaching, this young boy, I think he's in first grade, he wanted to borrow a color pencil from me. I hoard the color pencils that are like face colors. Everybody else has their own regular colors, but we were doing scarecrows and they have, you know, face colors, right? And so he came and got one, and his chair was like across the table from me, that far, not far, right? But he backed up to the wall and he started running, and I knew what he was gonna do. I was just like,
You were like,
stop it!
he was channeling your son.
Yeah. And he jumped on top of the chair. And see, part of me was like, if he hits that wrong, the chair will flip. Not only will he fall, the chair will flip into the next child, because they were very close together.
Like he was gonna like straddle it and then sit in it?
No, he just wanted to jump on top, on his feet. He did it, right? And I said, parkour, parkour. I said, do not do anything like that here again. I said, none of these guys want to stop what they're doing so that you can go to the ER. Do that stuff when you're with your mom. Because, and I said, and before you think that I have something against active boys, my son would put one hand on one side of the wall, hand on the other side of the wall, put his feet the same way, and crawl up the wall to the ceiling. And I would turn around, and he would just drop down from the ceiling like, yeah, I wasn't doing anything. He would just shimmy up the hallway. So I said, it's not because you're an active boy or because you're a boy. It's because you're here with me. Do that when you're with your mom.
So I used to tell the triplets that I used to babysit, we're not going to the ER today. No.
That's not on the agenda.
I used to tell the guys I used to tell the guys in my group, because, you know, I had put together a calendar and they were always interested in what the calendar had that day. I said, I scheduled 0 time for ERs today. So
Yep.
stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I do not want to break something. I do not have time. I don't have time to be hurt. I don't want to ruin these pants. Like, so the Washington Street has claimed my skin, and before a little while ago, I tripped. Same thing. I don't even know how I did it, and landed on my knees. Well, one knee landed on my purse, not this current purse, but purse I had, so it didn't get hurt. But the other knee landed on the concrete. Now my pants didn't get torn, but my pant material tore a whole layer off my knee. It was horrible. And in Boston, though, I did the same thing. That was bad and actually got infected. I was visiting Hannah. It was during the pandemic. We were getting her moved into her apartment, her first off-campus apartment. And we were walking to Target, and I was wearing sandals, different ones. And, you know, streets of Boston, notoriously bad for uneven and, you know, everything. And we're just walking along, and I caught my foot on an uneven thing, and I flew forward, landed on both knees, and I sat up, and I was like, I'm okay. And my knees just went like this, you know, because at first it just looked kind of like, you know, that white scrape looking, and then they just went, and so Hannah's like, we're going straight back to the apartment. We're not going to Target. And I had been wearing shorts, so my knees just took it all. And and I went, you know, got in her bathtub, and I was trying to wash them, and by a few days later, I was like, one of them does not look good, and I video called. Fortunately, that was the day when you could video call your doctor easily, you know. And I was in Boston, you know, but I video called, and I was like, look at my knee. I'm showing it in the thing, and she's like, yeah, it looks infected from here. So, you know, I got antibiotics and stuff like that. But I hate falling.
When I've fallen like 3 times with various on my knees with various levels of injury. The first time was when, I don't know if you remember, it was one of the last times we went camping at Santa Barbara, and we camped for a few days, and we went to Carlsbad.
Mm-hmm.
So that week, you know, at the time I had a little bitty tent, and so I had to like get down on my knees to get in and out of the tent. And so we only camped for like 2 nights, 3 days, something like that. And my knees are killing me. And I remember Naomi had to fold up my tent and all that stuff. And then we went to Carlsbad, and of course Carlsbad, going to the caverns, when you go in through the Bat Cave, it's all, you know, steep downhill, and they even have signs that say, this can be hard on your knees. And so by the time we were leaving, my knees were killing me. And then my one knee was kind of sore-ish, And my doctor said, yeah, take the elevators, don't do the stairs for a while, and it was during that time, I guess, that I thought of my right knee as my good knee, I think, and my left knee was, and I was going out to the dumpster to throw trash away at my apartment, and the cement out there was like, uneven. It was, and I was walking out there and I tripped on the slab and on my knees. I basically face planted, and I remember I wrote, like, I think on Facebook or something, I said it was both a good thing and a bad thing that there was a guy out there to help me up. It was a bad thing because it was very embarrassing. But then another time I fell, the symphony we were playing at this little college thing. And so they were feeding us dinner in their cafeteria. And so then we had the concert right after that. So we're leaving the cafeteria and I tripped on an uneven edge of the sidewalk and landed on my knee in front of all my symphony colleagues. Landed on my knee and they're like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Making a fuss over me, and I'm like embarrassed out of this all heck. And they're like, oh, did you go get some ice? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I have to go change my clothes for the concert. And so when I was in the little dressing room area, I couldn't cross my knee. I thought, okay, there's something really wrong with my knee.
Okay.
And like it hurt when,
yeah.
It was okay if I lift, like when I was, sitting around, when I play, I usually, shift my legs around and it hurt. I could pick my leg up and move it. But if I like dragged my foot across, my knee was killing me.
Yeah.
And then I had to go straight from the concert. I had to drive to a nearby town because it was Handbell Festival. And by the time I got there, it was like, and the room I was sharing with our director was upstairs at this little motel. And so when I finally went, my knee was like throbbing and sore. And so, when I went to lie in bed, it's like I get real comfortable and I start, okay, I had like a pillow or something under my knee, and then I'd start to relax and then my knee would start throbbing. So I have to shift positions. Like, okay, my knee is okay now. And then it would start throbbing again. and then finally at one point I had to go to the bathroom and I'm like, I'm going to whip my pants because I cannot move my leg.
Yeah,
my leg hurts so much.
Yeah.
But finally, I was able to hobble over there, and in the morning it was a little bit better.
Yeah.
But like
the fall to end all falls. Well, I've never broken anything when I fall, so I know I know people suffer much more than I ever have. But I was in college, and I was in an opera orchestra, which we were playing in a pit, and it was an old theater that did not have we didn't have a rising pit. It was just a pit. But it was so deep that I think probably it affected the sound or whatever, but they had a platform built in the pit. So it was like, a platform where some of the orchestra sat, and then there was a lower section where the other part of the orchestra sat. And then there were two doors down there like this. And there was one stair in the center of that platform that went down. Completely unsafe. There were no rails on that stair. And in order to go down the stair, you had to bend in half so you could get under the edge of the stage.
Like because OSHA violation.
Yeah, because the edge of the platform and the edge of the stage were like this. So in order to go down those stairs, you literally had to bend over because you couldn't walk upright and go down the stairs.
Yeah.
So I was orchestra manager for the college for that orchestra performance, and where I sat. So the stage was round like this, and then the edge of the pit was like that, and they came to a little like point, and my seat was right here in the very point of that upper platform, and there were like wind players here, and then I don't know what was on the other side, and then strings were like the violins and strings were at the bottom, and there were 2 intermissions, and during the first intermission I think my horn was like in a stand or whatever, and I was talking to some friends who were leaning over the wall, and I saw the light start flashing, which means we had like 5 minutes or something. So I knew as an orchestra manager I had to go get everybody, because no one else was in the pit really. Now, at the bottom thing, there were like the strings, like violins and stuff like this, and then the right-hand door was the door that we all used to get in and out, because the left-hand door was blocked by all these strings and then a arrangement of timpani, the kettle drums. And so the timpani player was the only one who used this door. And once he was in there, he couldn't come into the pit. He could only go out the door. Mm-hmm. And he was probably all kinds of unsafe. But, so the lights started flashing, and I was like, I gotta go get everybody. So I said goodbye to my friends, and I walked over, and I went to go, so you had to negotiate between all the chairs, and then get to this staircase, little, 5 steps, whatever it was, and go down, and bend over and go down. And somehow in negotiating all that, instead of, I guess, one of my feet went between, as I remember, it went between the platform and the step. Like, whoop! And I fell, and my legs hit the stairs. Mm-hmm. And I probably still kind of have like an indentation in my shin from 30, 40 years ago. And as I'm falling, I grab a chair, which is just a folding chair. I grab the chair, pull it down with me. And in the chair was a flute in its case, thank God. And I fell into the lower section, which was a circle like this of violins, but there were no violins on the chairs, because I flattened the stands as I fell. And the timpani player was in there. He was kind of warming up, and he was like trying to reach me. And I fall, and I'm completely like freaking out, dazed. But I get up, I'm like, I think I'm okay.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. And I remember our conductor was a hill and a half. He always was. And not a regular, he was the opera conductor guy. And anyway, I don't even think he knew I fell, right? So I went and I got, everyone was like freaking out, and I felt bad, and I'm like, is your food okay? Da, da. And I got everybody in, and then I went back up the stairs and sat down, and I'm sitting there because I literally didn't lay there and recover. I just got up and whatever. So I'm sitting there with my horn, and all of a sudden everything is throbbing, and I'm like, oh my God, what my leg is killing me, because I basically bruised the shin bone, and you can still feel it, there's a thin spot.
Yeah.
And my whole body was just in pain. And at one point, I had a little, one of those little measure solos, do whatever, and I missed it. And he looked at me like that, and I was like, what do you want me? What do you want from me? And then here's the greatest miracle of all. Second intermission, I was still in very much pain. I very carefully went down the stairs, went to the back of the hall, the pit, called Mark. We were dating. I called him from the little phone back there, and I was like, I fell. I really hurt myself. I fell. And he goes, that was stupid. And I still married him. That's the miracle. No.
So,
no, he didn't say that was stupid. He said that was dumb. That's what he said.
when you were talking about being worried about ruining your pants, as a child, you don't care. But as an adult, part of your mind says, oh these are really nice pants. And they cost a fortune, and I don't want to ruin them. Is when I was in Florida,
Oh, yeah.
I stabbed a wire through my ankle about that far up from the bottom of my foot, and the wire was about that long. And I tried to stand up, and I couldn't. So I crawled to the phone and called my friend to come get me. But what is she going to do? Carry me out to the car? I don't have a wheelchair. So I knew I was going to have to crawl to the car. But I was wearing my pants that I had worn to work. And
You're like, not the beard.
they were, I mean, I had to watch every penny when I lived there. And I was like, I cannot ruin these pants. I cannot afford to buy another pair of pants. And I was lucky that they changed their policy and I was allowed to wear pants, you know, but they had to be nicer pants. And so while I was waiting for her to get there, I crawled to my bedroom. I changed into jeans and crawled out to the parking lot.
Didn't you hurt it when you changed? You took your foot out?
No.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt. It only hurt when I put pressure on it like that to stand up or something.
Because I was like, because I can imagine like bumping it with the pant leg.
No.
Ooh.
No, it didn't really hurt anymore until, I mean, I had to hop to get into, and hopping hurt to get into the van because she had a big, tall van. No, the next time it really hurt really bad was when the stupid orderly tried to pull it out.
Yeah, you're not a doctor, don't
I'm
touch
like,
it. I was
are
thinking,
you an idiot? Didn't you think I did that at home?
When
I was thinking about this when we were watching football this weekend. I was like, I told Mark, I try so hard not to fall, and these guys just fall for a living. That's all they do.
and they bash into each other.
No.
When I was in Little Rock, at one point I was doing a bunch of temp stuff one year, and so I worked for a few months for the local housing authority office, and so I had it was downtown, it was close to my home, and so I think I had gone home for lunch or something and gone through a drive-through. Because I think I had a drink like from Starbucks or something, you know, some fancy drink, and so then I parked my car to go back to my office, and I was kind of, you know, hurrying because I was running a little late, and the parking lot was like a big hill, kind of, you know, sloped parking lot, and it was that old bumpy asphalt, you know, it wasn't smooth asphalt, it was the bumpy kind with the rocks, and it was a crappy parking lot. And so as I was walking back from my car, I stumbled and I fell, and I remember thinking I didn't want to spill my drink. I was like, no, I still want to finish it. I had about this much left. And
as an adult, when you drop your drink and it all goes, and when it's full, I mean, you almost burst into tears.
Like when you drop your ice cream as a kid. The place I went today, it's called Ingo's. They have really good green tea that I get, and it's a big glass like this. Mm-hmm. And one time I was coming out of there, and I always hold my cups like this, which I know I shouldn't. But I always hold like this, and I'm standing at the light waiting to cross, and I don't know what happened, but the lid came off, and my whole tea spilled.
So I fell on the parking lot, right? And I was wearing jeans that day, and I looked down right away, and my jeans were fine. I was like, oh, good, okay, I didn't tear my jeans, I didn't spill my drink, blah, blah, blah. So I went back to my desk, and, you know, like I said, I was hurrying back to my desk because I was running late, and I was sitting there doing blah, 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 whatever, and then I went to, like, move my knees, because my knee was getting, you know, it was kind of sore. I thought, okay, yeah, I banged it up. And I went to move my knee, and my jeans were stuck to my knee. I was like, oh my God.
Your jeans ripped your skin.
And so so I went in the bathroom and I took my jeans off and my knee was torn up.
Yep.
My jeans were fine,
Yeah.
but my knee was torn
Your
up.
jeans did the damage.
Yeah.
That's what happened that day I fell. And what was weird about that is I still have those pants. That one day I fell and like my pants were fine, but this is gross, I'm sorry. Gross warning. On the inside of my pants was a layer of my skin. Because I like really carefully pulled the pant leg up because I expected, the way my knee felt, I expected my pants to have a giant hole. And they're like a cotton, not twill, they're not thick. They're those rust-colored pants I have. And I expected them to be bloodied and I expected them to be ripped, but they were neither. But I like turned my pant leg inside out and there was like a layer of my skin. And then my knee was just torn to shreds.
Well, when I was there at work, so my my knee was all bloodied and everything, and like it had bled against my pant legs and everything. So I was trying to find like a Band-Aid or something, and it was in this bathroom of this old office, whatever. It was really impossible to find anything, and I think somebody found me a Band-Aid one finally, and they were like the adhesive on it was all like nasty. And no, it was like that, like white, you know how things get white and sticky, kind of like an old tape. You know, it was so nasty.
No, thank you.
But I had to have something because my knee was bleeding all over the place.
Oh,
but
See, you guys need falls to hurt yourself. I don't need that. I have, most of my pain comes from sleeping. All I have to do is step off of an MRI table. I warned them this time because I have to have the MRI, and they were saying, you know, do you need any accommodations or anything? And I'm like,
Apparently I need help getting off.
I need a stool there. Because if it's not there, I'll just try to step down, and I think that's what happened this time. But yeah.
So I have a funny story. The other day I saw a commercial for these little Crocs at McDonald's. They're so cute, and I was like, oh my god, I have to get one of those for Hannah because she wears Crocs all the time. Well, we all do, but
They have
faces. They have little faces. So I went one night. I went to 3 different McDonald's. It was only 6 o'clock at night, and they're like, we're out of the toys. So on my way here tonight, I was getting these, and I'm like, I'm sure they're gonna be out, but I'm gonna ask. Like, do you have any of the Happy Meal toys? They're like, yeah. I'm like, can I have one, please? So I bought a hat. I'm like, can I just buy the toy? And they would not sell it to me. So
When it's a popular toy, they won't.
So I got this for Hannah, and it came with little sneakers. So I guess you can put sunglasses on, or glasses and teeth, and I don't know what all, but she'll like it. It comes in this adorable little box, like a shoe box, and it's so cute. You could put it in sport mode. It's so cute. Anyway, I thought that was fun. Speaking of long form videos, we better go.
yes.
I've got a lot of sewing to do tonight and tomorrow and the next day. Hopefully I'll have something to show by next week. Because it's got to be done by next week. I'm going to die. And next weekend is opening weekend and for the symphony. And on Saturday, I forgot to say, my friend at work, we had her bridal shower on Wednesday, and I gave her, because she's the one she's coming out to my house so I can teach her how to make tortillas. She's like, the other day a while ago, she's like, I really want to learn, you should teach me. I'm like, all right, let's plan a date.
Wait, before we quit.
What?
I have to share a photo.
Oh.
I absolutely hate these couches. They're very uncomfortable for me. However, Rogue likes it when I sit on these couches because I have to put a whole bunch of pillows behind me. And here's a picture of her, what she likes to do now. And I took it right after her head was right here. And she was pushing down hard on my head. I was like, I can feel your jaw and everything. But normally she's here. Anyway, it's very, very cute. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's okay. But so anyway, she's on Saturday of opening weekend. She's coming out to the house like midday. And I'm gonna teach her how to make tortillas, and then we have to run off to the symphony. But, so next weekend is gonna be crazy busy, and then the following weekend is the gala. So I've gotta get this dress done, like, I don't know, I have a feeling I'm gonna do some overnighters and just have to deal with it, so that'll be
You're gonna
fun.
have to teach her how to make a little dough into a little hat.
I know, I'm gonna teach her all
Pop
that.
it on the
Yeah,
table.
I'm excited to teach her.
Like Grandma used to do.
Because she's getting married in just 6 weeks. So, so that was what we had a nice. So anyway, for her shower, I gave her a cast iron,
that.
a cast iron griddle and
Oh.
a tortilla keeper.
Yeah, I saw the tortilla keeper.
Yeah. So, that was a lot of fun, and we had a nice party. But, well, we should go. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating in our question of the week. Leave your messages below. And thank you for all our new subscribers. It's very exciting and fun. And we will see you back here next week.
Shout out to Fauna Pfeiffer.
Bye.